it's been like a moment where I've been going so fast. Like I think as you have more kids, as I had more kids, I feel even more of a responsibility to be like, I gotta make things happen. I gotta provide. I gotta really like take our family to the next level and make all these different goals happen. Maybe it's like the man in me, like that primal man. Maybe it's the fact that I'm a go getter. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because of that, I feel like I've been just like going. I've been grinding, and then also like being with the kids, taking care of them, supporting my wife, all this kind of stuff. So yeah, I feel like I've been moving fast, so much so that I feel like recently I was talking to my wife and I'm like, I want to start finding more ways to say no and like say no to like different things that just aren't fueling me.
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of Flip That Switch. I am your host, Brandon, aka B to the Sis Naive, and we're back with another episode. If you didn't get a chance to watch a previous episode, please go back and watch it. It's a great episode we did. As a matter of fact, before you watch this one, go back and watch that one. But today we're going to be diving into a new episode, and the guy that's stopping by to talk to me today is a guy that I had the pleasure of meeting. We went to the Google event, and he is out here just getting it, creating content, and he has a beautiful wife, beautiful family, and it's just great when you go to events and you meet good people, genuine people who are like in the same industry as you, and you get to kind of like talk content creator talk, and then of course you get into talking about families, and then you find out that you have a lot in common with that individual. So that's exactly who this guy is. And like I said, he's out here just creating content, doing his things. He has some of the most funniest videos that I've ever seen. So I'll make sure to link his IG in the description. But without further ado, I'd like to introduce Reza to the show. How are you, man?
I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much, Brandon. Yeah, I'm honored, and it was so beautiful to meet you because we live such similar lives.
Yeah,
Men, content creators, running our families,
yeah.
also big WWE fans.
Oh, dang, I forgot that in the intro. I missed that, bro.
No,
Oh,
it was so dope, and like, yeah, it was so cool to see you at that Google event, talking about your guys' story and how you guys came to be, and yeah, once you dropped that, I love WWE. I was like, me
yeah,
too, my dog.
yeah. No, for sure.
It
Sure.
was cool, especially in
Yeah,
this world of social media can feel so like I don't know isolating sometimes because everything we do is at home. So it's always awesome to go out and meet people who are doing the same thing because like I just know if we had like time to go to a dinner, we would just have like so many of these like relatable stories that we'd be sharing and yeah, it was
no,
dope.
for
And I'm so
sure.
happy to be here, man. Let's flip that switch.
Let's get it. Let's get it. I forgot to mention that you were a WWE fan. I mean, shoot, we could talk about wrestling for hours, and that'll
See,
take up half a day just to talk about that.
maybe this is a wrestling podcast. Maybe eventually we'll start a wrestling podcast.
I'll be, hey,
Break
I'll
the
be down for
table
that.
podcast.
Yeah, yeah, let's get it. All right, so you ready to dive in?
Let's dive in, dog.
All right. So, how are you mentally, Reza? Talk to me a little bit about how is your mental in this particular stage in your life.
Okay, I just want to say once you asked that, it's like I almost melted. Like my face, I was like, it was like a breath of fresh air because I feel like not many people ask me that, and I just am like
You're
like
right.
ventilate a little bit. So I appreciate that question so much, dog.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I'd say right now, like the overwhelming feeling mentally is gratitude for sure. Like there's so many blessings around. Thank God I'm blessed with two beautiful boys. They're healthy. I have a wonderful wife. I have an amazing social media business and community. Like nothing but blessings, 1000%. But at the same time, I also feel like since my second was born 6 months ago, I really feel like I have been going 100 miles an hour,
Mm,
like for 6 months. And I honestly like I don't know if the camera will show it, but like I had like one gray hair. I swear I have like dozens now, like right here, 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 here. Then I'm just like, it's been like a moment where I've been going so fast. Like, I think as you have more kids, as I had more kids, I feel even more of a responsibility to be like, I gotta make things happen. I gotta provide. I gotta really like take our family to the next level and make all these different goals happen. Maybe it's like the man in me, like that primal man. Maybe it's the fact that I'm a go getter. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because of that, I feel like I've been just like going. I've been grinding, and then also like being with the kids, taking care of them, supporting my wife, all this kind of stuff. So yeah, I feel like I've been moving fast, so much so that I feel like recently I was talking to my wife and I'm like, I want to start finding more ways to say no and just
Mm.
like say no to like different things that just aren't fueling me,
Hmm.
and just different I don't know, like commitments that we kind of just say yes to be kind of like just nice to others or whatever, or these different even influencer events that we usually just say yes to. And I'm like, let's just take it slow. So I think right now I've been moving really fast. Once I got to two kids, it's been moving really fast. And now I'm trying to slow it down because it feels like by the end of every single day, I'm literally just like, like so overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And as a dad, content creator, all those things combined, like it gets to you. And you really have to be mindful of like having those boundaries in your life, compartmentalizing when you're in content mode, when you're in dad mode, when you're in like individual, like self care mode. Um, that's been big. I think a big theme is just really looking at life as the marathon that it is. I think a lot of times, especially as creators in the business side of it, we look at it, each quarter is so important. Like, I
Yep.
just want to make X amount this quarter, period. And if I
Yep.
don't, it's like, who am I firing? It's like, what? Who's not doing the job?
Yeah.
And especially even a year, it's like, all right, for this year, I want to make this much, whatever it is. And it's like, bro, honestly, like, it's such a marathon. And when I think about like the entrepreneurial lifestyle, it's not about, okay, I want to make this much this year and boom, boom, boom. Like, those are fun goals. But the better goal is like, I want to be able to make good money for the next 20 years to be able to help my family retire. Like, I want to like, how do I elongate this thing and trying to go pedal to the metal and raise a family? It's just like you're gonna burn out too quick. So mentally, I'm like starting to like unplug a little bit and let like things kind of just chill, sit, take my time. So if I'm gonna spend time with family, like I'm gonna be like super present. If I'm even making content instead of being like on the rat race of making the next video, makes the next video, it's more of like, let me take my time. Let me really make it a great video, because now instead of working super fast, if I try to work a little bit more with care, it might end up happening where like that one video I make goes super viral and now I can kind of like let it breathe a little bit. So
Facts.
long answer to your question, I'm like now in a moment of feeling grateful and trying to slow down, because I don't know if it's being in America or being an entrepreneur or what it is, but it just feels like it's just like you're going like like going so fast, and it's like, man, we gotta chill a little bit. We gotta move a little slow sometimes. That's
Yeah.
right.
No, no, for sure. A lot of people that have similar lifestyles, I think the challenge for them is, okay, what are some of the things that I need to eliminate, right? Like they come to a conclusion in their life that, okay, there are things that I need to maybe say no to or eliminate so that way I can kind of breathe a little bit or get, a little bit of structure back in my life. But a lot of times they don't know what that is, right? Have you identified the things that you want to say no to or are going to start saying no to kind of help you get that structure back in your life that you need? Like, have those things been identified? Or are you kind of still like, is it just like a little pinball machine and I don't even know where to begin, you know?
Yeah. No, I think where me and my wife, we talk about it a lot. Like, there's a lot of different people that we're like either really deeply friends with or just kind of friends with, or some acquaintances. We live in this really awesome community where it's like a whole, you have a grocery store, like parks, all this kind of stuff, all walking distance. So you tend to see a lot of people, and there's always like events, there's double date dinners, birthdays, you're getting invited to so many things.
Hmm.
And I feel like one place we kind of started is just like, okay, like who are like our true like close friends that are really like filling our buckets up. We feel amazing being with them, and
Yep.
just trying to make sure that we're not going to some hangouts with certain people that are not giving it back to us. Like we're filling their cup, they're not filling our cup. So in the first place, it's kind of just like really kind of cleaning up house when it comes to who we're spending time with.
Mm.
Because sometimes like we'll be going to these events. I'm like, oh, we don't even like, we just see them at the park like once a month. Like, why are we here? We spent the whole Saturday here. Like, so stuff like that. I think that's been a big piece of just making sure that like the people we spend time with are like, if we're going to put that time, that we're going to feel amazing. And it's like a lot of synergy in that relationship. I think that's been big. As I mentioned, like as a creator, you get invited to a lot of events. So kind of just picking and choosing, like we don't have to be at everything. Like we can kind of go to the ones that really make sense. So that's been big. I actually also got this thing. It's called a brick. Uh, Not sponsored. Wish this episode was sponsored by Brick, but it's this little gray device that's on my whiteboard, and essentially, when I tap that brick, it locks all of my social media apps. And the only way I can unlock it is I have to come back into my room and unbrick. So sometimes if like I go out with my son and we'll go to the park, I'll brick my phone so that it literally can't access Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, whatever. And I'll be gone for the next 4 or 5 hours. We'll be out and about, going to parks, whatever it is. And like it's honestly habit. Like sometimes if my son like he climbs up the playground, whatever, I'm just like there on the bench. I'll just open my phone up, check out some like little social media, whatever, whatever. Like it's like automatic. As soon as I literally like leave the house, like our little Ring door camera, I literally see myself. I open the door, I close the door, and I immediately open my pocket and get my phone out and I start looking at stuff. And that just wastes so much time. And then I'm immediately like looking at stuff. It's stressing me out. And that brick I started using, and it's like just to like bring down my screen time because like my screen time was all over the place. Honestly, it's like I don't know what yours is, but sometimes mine says like 2.5 hours on Instagram in a day. I'm like, God, dang, that's nasty.
Yeah.
Uh, so just trying to like clean up the screen time has been big. Um, and then honestly, when it comes to the work part of it, not so much saying no, but like consolidating. Like I used to be in a place where I would be making content 5 days a week. 5 days a week, I'm literally filming videos. And I'm
Yeah.
like, to get into the mind space of like, okay, I'm gonna film now. Like you gotta be feeling good, you gotta be looking good, you gotta get the camera angles, the lighting, all this stuff. So to have to get in that mode 5 times in a week, it's just like you're getting into that mode and you're coming out of that mode. So one thing I did is I started to consolidate where now I have one day where I film everything. So I literally
Okay.
like will 2 days we brainstorming, have all my video ideas, and then I have a video guy come out and he'll film me for about like 7, 8 hours, and we'll just get the whole thing done. And then the rest of the week, I'm just editing those, posting them, and then brainstorming as I go to get the next batch. So I think being able to consolidate and all those different things, it's opened up time where now, if it's like put my kids to bed at 7:30, I'm not thinking like, okay, I got to do this, or I got to do this thing for content, or I got to film something. Instead, I'm like, no, actually, I already know that I'm filming on Thursday and I'm brainstorming on Wednesday. So right now, Tuesday night, let's watch a movie. Let's just chill. So that has been able to give me that black and white. Whereas before it was gray and you got the kids and this kid's not sleeping through the night. So you're just like going, 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 going. And I tell my wife this a couple days ago. I'm like, when you go play basketball and you come back, your body's physically sore.
Hmm.
But if you're going like, you're like brainstorming, you're creating, you're doing all these videos, all this kind of stuff, like your brain went through it to be creative and be doing all this kind of stuff, figuring out all these problems. And like we don't, I mean, sometimes you do get a headache, but there's no feeling of like mental soreness that happens as much. But it's probably happening that we don't even realize. So I
Mm.
feel like I'm just trying to be more conscious of like how much am I working my brain, my body, and just trying to find a way to make me super the longevity high and not burn out, because I feel like nowadays it's like people are trying to make more content and they want to make the content better. Like think
Yeah.
about you. You got your guys' content that you make. You make your own reels. You guys make reels together, and you got your podcast, and you're a dad. It's like Brandon's cooking.
Yeah.
So it's like making sure that we have that time to ventilate and relax. That's kind of like my theme is executing at a high level, but also ventilating.
I love it, man. I love that. And I love the fact that you do have a structure in place because, when you get into this industry, when you first get into this industry, it's like, you're just throwing stuff at the wall, seeing what sticks, you're just making content. And then as the years go by, the months and years go by, you start to figure out like, dang, okay, I don't want this to consume my whole lifestyle. Even though this is my job, this isn't a 9 to 5, right? It's like our job as well as it bleeds into our lifestyle, you
Yeah.
know. And so the fact that you have to make that structure, like you say, you know what, this is the day I'm going to film, I'm going to batch film. That's actually something that could be inspiring for somebody listening to this. Like, you don't have to film every day.
Yeah.
You can batch film and then you could just stagger your videos out. I mean, there's other ways to go about it to where, you know what, you can be productive, but at the same time, still be able to relax and have those nights of, okay, I already got my videos and what I need. So now I can just chill and relax.
Yeah.
So I love the fact that you have that structure because a lot of people think it's just like, well, I got to film every day, all day, and do all this, and you don't. You
Yeah.
know,
I think that's a big one. Like there's also an element now. I've been in this game for almost 5 years, so like
yep.
I've learned some things. And there's in the beginning you're just working really hard. Like there was
Hmm.
times where we're making 2 videos a day. We're like we're gonna post 2 videos a day, blah blah blah, all this kind of stuff. Like make sure you're taking a picture of what you're eating for breakfast, what your coffee. Like you got to fill up those IG stories, like all this kind of stuff. Like it was just like a lot. And then you kind of get to a point, especially from the financial aspect, where you really learn how to work smart and post what matters. Because even when I talk to other people, whether it be like friends or like my manager, peers, or even like brands, and when they talk about your videos, they always tend to talk about either the ones that went the most viral, like, oh, Brandon, that one video you guys did where this, like they always tend to talk about your most viral ones, which obviously you can't plan on like, okay, I'm just only gonna post viral ones. We all want to do that. But or the ones where you're just truly like, I don't know, you can tell you're putting more heart into it where it's like maybe you're just like you're posting something really original or like a really like a good thought you had, whatever it is. But all those pictures of breakfasts and all those pictures of the coffees and all those like those filler videos that maybe kind of just fuel the algorithm, like those ones almost like there's a reality where maybe you don't even need those anymore. So honestly, and I think also as a creator, there's so many ways to make money and to do well. You can make a bunch of stories, you can link all your outfits and do all that joint. You can make really good reels and attract brand deals. You can have a podcast like you have.
Yeah.
And I think it's important as a creator, you have to identify like what am I good at and what am I actually passionate about doing? Because I was like, oh, maybe I should start posting like my outfits and stuff and linking that. And yes, maybe I can make an extra buck here and there and stuff. But I'm like, it's honestly taking too much time and effort. And that's not what I want to do. Like, what I want to do is I just want to make really awesome short videos through reels and eventually do a podcast later. But right now, let me just own that. I'm just going to put all my mind and effort there, be amazing there.
Yep.
And with the stories, I'm like, I just don't see myself doing that. So I rarely post stories. And it's because it's like on social media too, it's all momentum. It's like if I end up posting like one story every day or maybe two a day, it's like you got to be either on or off. But if you're
Right.
just trickling, it's not really like getting attention. And now you're putting effort to trickle, but not gain any return. So, yeah, I think like you got to find out like what is the thing that you know you're good at and just be there. So I don't post stories.
Yeah.
I post reels, but it's only a certain type. I don't post some reels like that might be like I don't know, like get ready with me. I'm like, I'm never gonna post that because that's not who I am, and like brands and my followers don't see me for that. So I'm like, just to post, why would I ever create that? Like I gotta create what's me.
Yeah.
So I think that's a big piece.
No, for sure, for sure. Speaking of social media, how did you even get started? Because I know you mentioned that at first your wife was doing it,
Mm,
and then you guys kind of flipped, and now you're doing it.
yeah.
So talk to us a little bit about the journey getting started, and then what made you flip from her doing it to you doing it, and
Yeah.
how it's been going.
Yeah. No, it's been so interesting because like my wife back in like 2018, she just like saw these influencers on Instagram and she was like had these influencer dreams. Like I remember in the 20 it might be 2018, 2019, and 2020, New Year's Eve, we'd go around do all of our New Year's resolutions, and my wife was always like, "This year, I'm gonna get 10,000 followers on Instagram." And we're like, "Yeah, you are. You're gonna do it!" Like all this kind of stuff. And because back in the day, you needed 10,000 followers to be able to put a link button on your story, and
Okay,
that
yeah,
was like such an attractive thing because they were following. My wife was following all these girl creators linking out their outfits and linking their house furniture and stuff. And she's like, "Oh my god, they're probably making bank." And like, "Oh my gosh, like I got it. I'm gonna do this." And my mom was like, "You're gonna do it," because my mom was also really big on all these influencers.
yeah.
That was her dream. We end up getting married in 2020, and we have like a big fat Indian wedding with all the dances and all this kind of stuff. And my wife ends up posting it on TikTok.
Okay.
And then the day after, my friend from Florida, she sends me like a video. It was like a UK meme page, and it was my first dance, and I'm like, how did they get this? And then I show it to my wife, and she's like, "Oh, I posted on TikTok." I'm like, "What?" And we check, and it had like 120,000 views, and it was like over like 12 hours, and
Wow.
we're like, "Oh, yo!" Like the first time we've ever experienced that ever, and this was August 2020. And we're like, "Yo, this is insane." And for the next week, my whole entire family, my extended family, we just kept refreshing that TikTok and watching the views climb its way. And it eventually hit 1 million views. And we're like, "We hit 1 million." And it was like, we gained like, I think 9,000 followers or maybe something like that from that one video. And I'm like, "Yo, put every piece of wedding content we have until we like get all that juice out." Put all this wedding content, all this stuff, and we honestly got like maybe like 30, no, it was like 25K by the end of it on TikTok. We got like 10K on YouTube,
Wow.
and on Instagram she got to like 3, 4K. And at that point, it was like you got a nice little foundation. Like, let's see what happens. So then now we're talking. This is like maybe October 2020. And my wife was making content, but I still wasn't seeing it. I was still focused on my job. I was working at Google in sales. I was making good money, had a good trajectory of where I could go. And then I saw this one video from the Scott family. Do you know them, Talia and
Yeah.
Roger?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so she had this one video back then where it was like a video she took of herself before they started making social media, where she was talking about like all the struggles they were going through, and like she's like, "I just hope this year we can turn things around, whatever it is." And then it shows present day, and at the time they had like already millions of followers and all this stuff happened. So I'm seeing like we got this couple thousands across these platforms, and I see this one video, and I'm like, why not us? Like honestly, maybe we should like kind of cater to this. So then we decided that New Year's Eve 2020, we're like, you know what? This year, 2021, we're going to make some content. We're going to see what we can do. We're going to try and like replicate what these people are doing that are winning and succeeding at it, and see if we can put our own flair on this joint. And it was January 16, 2021. It was a Saturday where we decided, like, all right, you know what? Every Saturday, we're just going to make a bunch of TikToks and we're going to post it throughout the week. And the next Saturday, we'll do it again. And we wanted to post every day, one video a day, see what happens. Very similar to you guys. And I remember like the first day was so tough. It was like I remember like Pooja started crying because I was like, I would look at the video, I'm like, I feel like you have to like smile more. And then like we do like a bunch of them. And she's like, "Can we just stop?" And she's like, "Oh, this looks so overwhelming. Like, it's not even fun anymore." And it was like such a mess. All the videos flopped. We were like trying so hard. And then we got that first viral video, and all of a sudden it was just like, oh snap, like let's try to do it again. And then you
Yeah.
kind of look how you did it. You're like, you do it again. You're like, okay, I think I get it. Why don't we try doing it again like this? And all of a sudden you start hitting a viral video, at least like once a week, maybe once every two, whatever. You're hitting a viral video that really like takes you up the next batch of followers, next batch of followers. Then you get your first brand deal. It was like $50. And it was this one like Indian dating app. And I'm like, oh, I called my brother. I was like, bro, I'm getting $50 to make a TikTok. Like, bro,
Man.
that's like 2 rounds of Taco Bell, like right there, bro. That's insane.
Yeah.
And I was
Yeah.
like, feeling myself. And then that kind of got the momentum going where it was like, okay, Reza and Pooja are now a social media couple. And we made a bunch of couples content, just relatable stuff. Then eventually, we moved back in with my parents because now like we had a lease in New Jersey and that finished up. And then it was still like COVID time, like early 2021. So we moved in with my parents because we're like, all right, let's just stay here. And then once COVID really subsides, then we'll move into our own place. And then like we started making content with my parents, like living with my parents content. It'd be like mother-in-law versus daughter-in-law content between my mom and my wife. And then that really started helping us grow a ton. We started making videos with my dad, like just getting everybody involved. And we like all of a sudden within that first year from January 2021 to December 2021, we got like we're at like 900,000 followers. And it was
Wow.
like, okay, like we made this happen. Like
Yeah.
before it was like trickling, and then we started really figuring it out and telling some really cool stories with everything that we got nearly a million followers, and we got it shortly after in 2022, and it was amazing. Then 2022, we become parents. So our
Hmm.
firstborn, he was born in September 2022,
Okay.
and our platforms were like on this amazing rocket ship. And as soon as we became parents, and also somewhere before then, uh, when Pooja was pregnant, like April 2022, we both left our jobs. So at
Okay.
that point, from January 2021 to April 2022, we were able to make money on social media, leave the corporate world. I remember when I quit my job at Google, I told my dad, I'm like, I just put my 2 weeks in. He was like, oh, why did you do that? He's like, why? Like, now I'm just gonna be worrying about you every single day, making sure I see your brand deals. Like, because in the early days, my parents look at my videos and they're like, we haven't seen any brand deals recently. Like, are you guys okay? Just want to make sure whatever's going on. And I was like, yeah, no, we're good. Everything's good. But once we became parents, it was like this massive slowdown. I remember because like we had our firstborn and we were just trying to figure out how do we like take care of this baby and make content. And we're just the type to want to do things on our own. Like we didn't want like the help. We wanted to be the ones like taking care of our kid, raising him, and trying to make content like when he'd be napping or during bedtime. And we like took a major slowdown on the content. Like we were making one piece of content every like 5 days. Like it was just like slow. But thankfully, it still kept growing. We're still making good money. And it was also funny because then we became parents. It became so hard to find time to make content together. So it was
Hmm.
always Reza and Pooja. But now, okay, if you're with him and I'm by myself, I can't make content. So we're
Right.
figuring that out. It was kind of tough. And then, long story short, once we got pregnant with our second kid, it was like, okay, we're never gonna be able to make content at this rate. It's already like so tough. Like we have these little spurts, but then we kind of go off for a week. It was like tough balancing that whole thing. And we didn't have any help. It was just us because we ended up moving. Um, and also because we wanted to be the ones like raising him.
Hmm.
And then I remember there was a moment where I'm like, what if let me try like making some dad content. And at the same time, we were also trying to kind of like fizzle out my son out of the content because I'm like, I feel like I'm like relying on like the content does really well when he's featured in it, and I'm like, I don't want that. I never wanted that kind of reality, but it kind of just happened that way.
Yep.
So then I'm like, let me see if I can like play the toddler and let's see how it goes. And he was like he was in the middle of terrible twos, so there's a lot of stuff happening. Like, I was like, there's so many stories to tell, and let
Yeah.
me try. But it was also kind of tough because I'm like, people wanted to see my son. They don't want to see me dressed up as a little kid. So I put the first video out, and the first video actually did really well. And I was like, okay, this is amazing. I'm good. And obviously, when you do something good, you try to replicate it. It never repeats. So the
Right.
next 3 videos, all the comments were like, "Where's your son?" Like nobody asked for you to play your son. Like Like it's so much funnier when he plays it, whatever it is. And that was like so disheartening because I'm like trying something new. I'm like putting on this whole thing and nobody even cares. So that was a disheartening moment. But then I was like, I'd hit some good ones and a lot of bad ones. And I'm like, let me just really figure this out where I can make the content myself. And at the time, once like Pooja's pregnant with our second, she was just like kind of getting to a point where she's like, I kind of just really want to focus on like these kids right now. And I'm not trying to like be on the grind. Like if you can figure it out, that'd be amazing. Cause like it just feels like a lot when I have to keep jumping in and making content, whatever. So which is funny because it started off as her baby
Right.
content. And then all of a sudden now like motherhood really kind of like took her in and she just really enjoys. Um, so then I kind of kept pushing the envelope on like the dad, toddler, me playing both characters. And then it really started to work. And all of a sudden, like literally just like last October, I had like 360K followers, something like that. And now this October, I just hit 800K. And it was
Wow.
like 3 years prior, I was maybe growing like whatever, like 50K a year. And
Yeah.
now this past year, it's just like helped so much, done so well. At this point, our son is maybe featured in like 5% of the content, little stories here and there.
Yeah.
And then my wife, she used to be like the main, like it was always Reza and Pooja. And now she kind of just comes in as like a special bonus character. Like, oh, Pooja's in the video today. Ooh, this is cool. So, but then it's also kind of funny because on TikTok and YouTube, our handle is Reza and Pooja. But all the videos I post there are all my Reza videos. So sometimes I even think, I'm like, should I like be rebranding this? Even the profile picture, I'm like, because I feel like now it's like a lot of people are starting to know it as like me. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's this interesting thing, but now we're in this place where I tell my wife, I'm like, if you want to like jump back into content and if you wanted to like just take a back seat on like taking the kids, like being with the kids, like we can get the help, we can like move back, whatever it is. Um, but I'm like, it's up to you. And then she's kind of this place where she's like, I kind of like just like I love making content, but it's nice to make content without the pressure of like I got to do this for the brand deals. You're just making content for fun, just like kind of throwing some stuff up. So that's where we're at now. Now it's like I run the content ship. I'll kind of call her in as like an actor,
Right.
and she kind of just posts like as she pleases for fun, and she'll still get some brand deals and things that come her way. But it's like if it's not something she loves or if it's not too big of a lift, then she'll do it. But yeah, it's been a crazy flip, like from like she being the powerhouse and the one fueling it all to couples content to living with my parents content to parenting content together to now it's just me doing parenting content by myself.
Man.
But thankfully, it's like everything is like continued on. The audience stayed in. We continue to grow. Um, but it was kind of tough. Each moment we had to make a pivot was scary because it was like even when I was making all the content with my parents, they love my parents so much so that once we moved out, I helped my parents get their own page off the ground, and they have over 100,000 subscribers on YouTube by
Wow.
themselves. And so like each time we had to make a pivot, I'm like, oh my god, now we're gonna move out, and they're gonna be like, where's your dad? Like, where's Baba? Like, we want to see more of Baba, my dad. And I'm just like, oh god, now it's like we're gonna lose followers, they're gonna lose interest, and we just kind of kept pivoting and just like figuring it out, and now we're on this stage. Thank God it's going well, and we keep moving forward.
Wow. What a journey, man. That is
Yeah,
a journey.
for sure.
It's funny because we have a similar situation as far as like how our journey came to be, not from a standpoint of it was her than us than me. It's one of those things where it was like we started doing different types of content. And one of our fears was that everybody wasn't going to cross over to us. Cause like,
Mm,
we went from doing travel videos to COVID hitting. Now we're doing pranks, and then COVID letting up, and now we're getting back to lifestyle video. We're doing lifestyle videos,
mm,
and eventually we want to obviously get back into traveling videos as well. But it's like through all those different stages,
hmm
your fear is like, man, are we going to lose people? Are people going to come along with us? But we realize that people who truly watch you for you and for
mm,
who you are, they're gonna follow you. They're gonna come with you no matter what you do. You
hmm
know, and so But I said that because when you were mentioning like each stage of the way, we had different types and we had to pivot and do this and do that. I kind of resonated with that because that's kind of how our journey was. Um,
And
it's man.
what was it like? I know, like what's such a common thread on social media is where you have a wife that's really into it, and
Hmm.
then you'll have like this very like clunky, buttoned up husband who has a job, who's too busy for TikToks and all this kind of stuff. And then it's always like the wife will kind of like make the content, be like, "Oh, honey, like gonna do this," and he's like, and like audience loves to see a clunky husband who's like trying to do the trans or being videotaped and all this kind of stuff and get the reactions. Was that like that for you guys? Like, is Destiny right?
Yeah.
Yeah, was Destiny kind of like running the show and like you were like that bonus character, or did you guys start off on the exact same foot?
No, no. It was like she was the powerhouse behind it, and I was I was working, and I looked at it as a hobby. It was like,
Yeah.
okay, this is a side hobby. This is like me going to the park to go play basketball, right? And so there will be times where I just didn't want to do it. I didn't feel like doing it, or she'd have to like give me an extra boost. She'd be like, "No, we're gonna film today." She'd be kind of like urgent situation, and I wasn't on board until I think we had got our first brand deal.
Yeah, yeah, you like you saw the money, you're like, okay, I can
And you
make
know
this
what's funny? Like you, bro, it was like it was our first brand deal was like $150. It was a necklace.
deal.
Valentine's Day was coming up, and basically they wanted me to gift her a necklace with her name on it. Bucks. But when we got that first brand deal, I didn't even care that it was $150. I was so excited. I was so geeked about it. You
Yeah,
would that brand deal was 150K.
yeah, yeah,
I was so geeked. I was like, dang, okay, now I can start to see what this can become.
yeah,
And so from then and there, we would work our 9 to 5s, and then we would get off work and film. We would film on weekends.
yeah,
And that's kind of where our journey took us. It was like, okay, I started to see like this is not just a hobby anymore versus her. She had this vision that this wasn't a hobby from the jump. She was like, we could really do something major with
yeah,
this.
yeah. She is seeing all the other creators being like, wait, like we could totally do this.
Yeah.
Um, what's it? I
Yeah.
was gonna ask something. Um, it's funny because early on, like when you have uh like $150 brand deal, you look at it more like, oh, like this is like free dinner. Like, boom, we got date night covered. Like you rationalize it in a way where you're like, oh, this is Gucci.
Right.
But then now you're more like, oh no, this is this is life. Like $150 is not obviously not going to cut it. We got to fund everything, the mortgage, the whole thing, our savings accounts, all that kind of stuff. But
Yeah.
early on, even sometimes now, like we'll get a deal. Say it'll be like I remember. I think it was we were planning a trip to LA with my brother, and we got this like epic Airbnb, all this kind of stuff, and we got some deals with like CVS and Gillette or something like that, and it was like $4,000 for a reel on
Yeah.
Pooja's page back in the day, and I was like, it's like kind of low, bro. Like I don't know, like we typically say no, but then when you actually see one of your expenses coming up, you're like, but then again, that
Right.
Airbnb that we about to do is about 4K. So like this reel is that Airbnb. So when you actually can point it to something, you're like, let's rock out. Like we'll do it. So
For sure. I
that's
think
what's interesting.
yeah, I think that, but also the fact of, like for example, because my wife has done a couple CVS deals as well.
Yeah.
And you start to realize and think like, okay, you know what, with CVS, they're paying you, but also keep in mind you're getting a free gift certificate to shop at CVS. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
automatically start thinking about like things that we can buy. Like, dang, we could get this, we can get that, we can get this. And so you're right. It's like 4,000 back in the day when we were first starting. We probably would have jumped over the moon for that.
Yeah. You know what's also funny, and this is maybe a
Yeah,
little tangent, but I want to bring it up.
yeah,
Uh, as creators, obviously, like we want to make sure we're getting compensated appropriately based on what we're worth, all that kind of stuff.
For sure.
But if a brand gifts you instead of paying you, I believe that creators would take a lot less money based on how much that gift is worth. For example, say for example you do videos, so you're like, all right, we'll do a whole TikTok reel thing for like say 10K, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
And if it's not that, you're like, we kind of like need this, whatever, whatever. But then if say a brand comes to you and says, Brandon, let's do a TikTok and we'll get you front row seats at WrestleMania next year, or whatever. Like they'll be like, we'll get you two front row seats at Survivor Series or SummerSlam, for example, which
Yeah.
might be worth say, I don't know, or maybe to Monday Night Raw, and it's like say 6K.
Yeah.
You'd be like, I'm down, dog. Let's do it, because you actually point to an actual physical like a gift, and there's something about that I feel like people would be much more willing to accept that, even though say it's a $6,000 value, because it's like a thing, and they're already kind of pointing it to like something versus them giving you 6K to pay for it yourself. You wouldn't, maybe.
Right.
I think you'd be more willing. Would you?
I would, and I'll even do you on better. There's certain brands that we've done brand deals on where it wasn't necessarily a monetary thing. It was just like they were gifting us something that was of the most absolute need for us, but also at the same time, the company was big enough to where it'd be like, you know what? Yes, we can work with y'all. It,
Yeah.
it just really depends on the brand and what they're offering. Yeah, because I mean, even with the Royal Rumble, we went to Royal Rumble a couple years ago, and they paid us for that brand deal, but I would have done that for
Oh, there was a
free. Just
brand deal.
yeah, that was when
Oh, let's
Rollins.
go.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
epic. Triple H is like, sign it off. Bring
yeah.
it
No, for sure. And so we would have done that for free just because of how passionate I am about wrestling, or
Yeah.
because of how big WWE is. But so there's certain brands and certain things that you will be like, okay, you know what? They might not necessarily be paying a lot, but it's the exposure of you with that brand, or it's the opportunity of the dollar value of what they're giving you. Yeah, let's still rock out with it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny how that works. That's
Yeah.
epic. They took you to a Royal Rumble. That's really cool.
Yeah, no, that was man, that was the highlight of my
Your
wrestling.
whole creator journey.
No, for sure, for sure. That's when I was like, okay, this could really be something
Yeah,
big.
you're like, I'll make the videos, Destiny. Put me in. I'm ready.
No, for sure, for sure.
That's dope.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about your upbringing. I know, talk to me. Did you grow up in a two-parent household? You have siblings? Kind of talk to me a little bit about your childhood and how you came up.
Yeah, for sure. So I was in a two-parent household. My mom and
Okay,
dad, a really strong alliance. They both my mom's she migrated to America from Iran back in the 70s. My
okay,
dad migrated from Pakistan back in the 80s, and they somehow ended up in like 1989. My dad was working at a Burger King, and my mom came in for a summer job. My mom was 10 years younger. She was maybe like 17. My dad was 27. She came in for a
okay,
summer job. My dad was the manager. My dad hired her at the Burger King. And through their working relationship, maybe questionable, she was 17, maybe about to turn 18, I guess. Uh, they ended up like getting together. They got married. Uh, had three kids, so I'm one of three. I'm the middle child, an older brother, younger sister, and honestly, they came from like the bottom, like working at just like Burger King, line chef. My dad worked his way to like a manager, but like just like working hard. Like my mom would do morning shift, my dad would be with us. My dad would go to do night shift. My mom would be with us, and like just working hard, struggling. My mom, like, she had plans to go to college and all this kind of stuff, but then she got married, she had kids, and she kind of had to just like grind out. And but at the same time, I wasn't ever conscious of like, oh, we have a hard, we're not making money or like whatever it is. I was just kind of living life. Things were normal. I think it naturally though kind of created this like more like I don't know, humility. Like we wouldn't. My parents would always ask us, "Oh, do you want to get this toy?" And we're like, "No, no, no, it's okay, it's okay." Like I don't know, we were just the kids that always said like, "No, no, it's okay, it's fine, whatever."
Yeah.
And yeah, and then like for me, I was always the one that was very energetic. I look at my home videos and like I was always doing goofy stuff. So I remember there was like one where it was like the first day of school. My dad has the camcorder and he's like looking at my sister like first day of school. And my sister's there just like smiling. And then I'm there, I'm just like being all goofy and I was like chubby. I was like just like I was like 130 pounds in like second grade. I was a big old boy. And I I was always so goofy and just always like I'm ready for school, like all this kind of stuff. And my brother was very just like chill. And uh, yeah, growing up in Florida, doing that thing over there, and then eventually we moved to Chicago, where now my family all lives. And once we're in Chicago, it was kind of just like new roots. Uh, I kind of started finding myself and my confidence and who I was, and kind of started to bring that home version of myself, that very like entertaining, loud, crazy, like all this goofy stuff into school, starting to feel more confident to bring it out there. Um, and I feel like that's kind of where I found myself. And then like, yeah, as a middle child, kind of watching my brother like grow up, go to college, I kind of follow the same footsteps. And it's interesting now as I'm saying this because I see these parallels of like I used to always be this like energetic, entertaining guy, and a lot of my friends in high school would always be like, "Bro, I feel like you're gonna be the weatherman one day. Like you're just so animated and all this kind of stuff." And I was in theater, and I was like, maybe I'll go to Broadway or something like that. Like I always felt the need to just be like animated and singing and dancing, all this kind of stuff. And it's just funny because back then, whatever you're always known as or whatever you're always told, it's going to find a way to kind of become your reality in some
Mm.
capacity. If in some capacity, so for me, is like that was always part of me, like the doing like dances, like we do these like choreographed dances at weddings, which is very common in like South Asian culture. Uh, but it's just funny to think about because as a kid, I was always the same way, and then went to college. Uh, that's where I met Pooja in my junior year, and it's funny because when I went to college, that's when I kind of went more like that regular route of like, all right, no more goofing around. I'm joining a business fraternity and I'm getting internships, and it was just like all of a sudden I kind of just like kind of like closed down some of like that part of myself and try to be more serious, more professional, making things happen. And then yeah, and then like I got my job at Google, and it was like I started kind of bringing that character out more. And what naturally started happening was in every team I was on at Google, I would always end up being the guy that kind of leads the culture part of the team. Like, oh, he's leading the events, he's creating the events for the team, like making things fun and enjoyable, whatever. Um, and then like, and now here I am doing like all this stuff, which is just so funny how like there's like a through line that stays consistent. And then it's also really cool because my dad growing up, I honestly get all of like the energy and all that kind of stuff that I do in my videos from my dad because his dream was always he's like, man, my dream has always been I want to be a movie actor one day. And now once I became a creator, he's like, man, you're living my dream. And especially once we started making content with my parents, and we went on a run. Like it was like 2 months, we gained like many 100,000 followers from that time frame with them. And I remember my dad being like, I'm living my dream. Like, I get to be an actor now.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is kind of a tangent to your question, but I just remember like the funny part of including your family into the videos is like my dad would make some viral videos because he's a funny dude and he's also like a little bit older, so that no one expects it.
Yeah.
And he would make the video, and once we post it and say it goes like it's like 15 million views, and there's like thousands of comments, he's just scrolling. He's reading every single comment. He's like just loving it because the way that we make those videos, he was always portrayed as like this really funny type of character. So people were loving him, and he was just like feeding his ego. He's like, the people love me, and it's just hilarious. So it's really cool to think about. Like my mom and dad came from like the other side of the world, met up in Miami, met at a Burger King,
Right.
just scraping by like paycheck to paycheck, like tired, working nonstop just to make ends meet, and just working up the the chain. Like my mom eventually like went from like just being a burger flipper to being a manager to being corporate Burger King, and now she's like a VP in the corporate world. So it's just like I don't know. You can call it like the true American dream of just they just like we're at the bottom and just through just hard work and they just told us to focus on school, focus on things that matter, whatever, whatever. Like now, thank God, we're like here I am in Los Angeles with my two kids, and I make these goofy videos with the fireman hat for a living. It's like what?
Yeah.
Like that part is just
Yeah.
it's amazing and it's crazy to think about. Um, and I'm just like super grateful.
Man. That's the word right there, grateful. Because you're absolutely right. Like, sometimes I sit back and I'm like, man, the fact of the matter is I am blessed to be able to just do this full time. Blessed to be I just left my job in this past January, and I was there for like over 6 years,
Epic.
you know. And I know how you said that, like, we talked about this where we had similar situations where we both were very, like, we had a lot of fear leaving our 9 to 5s,
Yeah,
taking that leap
especially
of
if you're
faith.
like that last 9 to 5 piece. It's like if I
Yeah,
go, that's it. There's no more stability.
yeah, yeah. You got to get your own medical insurance. There's no more PTO. There's no more benefits. And for me, that was so tricky. That was like I was just it took me a long time to get to that point. And finally I was like, okay, we had our daughter and we were like, okay, I think I'm in a good space. But I to be able to be blessed to be able to do this. And as long as we've done it, because we're like you, we're 5 years in, and it's gotten better and better every year. It's nothing short of a blessing. So
For sure.
we're definitely in a similar boat, man. Like I think about it every day. Destiny thinks about it all the time. We're just how grateful we are to be able to do this as a living, man, and that we're good. We're building a home. Not not
Yeah, I
not
saw that.
brag or anything. It's just one of those things where it's like we went from a 600 and something square foot apartment to now we're being blessed to be able to, we were able to purchase this home that we're in, which is our first home, and now we're building our next home. And it's amazing to see, because a lot of people, they get into this and it unfortunately it doesn't they don't make it, for whatever reason. But our grind has, even though we've made it, maybe shifted our mindsets, our grind has never stopped,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
so
It's amazing to have all those accomplishments, which are massive. Like
yeah.
they're massive accomplishments that like a lot of people don't even get to experience. And you
Yeah.
guys like are building your house. You have your beautiful daughter. You have this wonderful family that's just like building the longevity of doing it for 5 years. Like
Yeah.
you can have a good quarter, you can have a good month, you can have a good year, but you have to do that consistently, staying with the course, telling more stories, making more pieces of content. Like that takes such hard work. And I know it because I live it. So I know exactly like to do all that, like you're working hard. Like every piece of content, like you're putting your whole heart and soul in that piece of content. Then you
Right.
post it, and it's just like it's not sometimes if people think it's just like, oh, I'm just gonna make a quick video like blah 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 whatever, whatever. No, it's like no, like you're like you care so much and like you've built this amazing thing that's now like given so much fruit that it's like nah, like in the beginning when like we go viral, like have this kind of success, it's like I mean, like I don't know, like we just post videos and it goes viral. I don't know why I went, but no, it's not a fluke no more. You do it for
Right.
5 years, it's like no, I'm doing something good. I'm doing something right, and people enjoy it. And like, yeah, I'm like I'm gonna make videos. I'm a content. I'm a podcaster. Like you know what I'm saying? Like you kind of really start to feel it more. And I feel like for myself, there was a lot of times when people would tell me like, "Oh man, bro, like yeah, your content's so funny," and I'm just like, I don't believe them. I feel like they're just saying that because we're in person and they want to be nice.
Right.
Because it was like this a lot of imposter syndrome. Because you see like some really funny creators and you're like, me, like even sometimes my manager, she'll be like, "Oh, the brand, they love you and stuff." I'm like, "Bro, you're just saying that." Like, I don't maybe whatever. I don't know. Maybe they just found me, whatever. I don't know. But like now, once you kind of reach that point, you're like now 5 years in, and like you kind of become more aware. You're like, no, I know that I'm good. Like I do a good job because I try really. I put a lot of work into it. That like, yeah, I actually do think myself, like my own self talk, is like I do a good job.
Yeah.
Versus in the past, it used to be like I don't know. It's like a bunch of cringy content, but you kind of that evolution definitely happens.
No, for sure, for sure. Earlier you mentioned like when we first got on, we were talking about how like, we're raising our families and providing and we out here getting it. And so let me ask you this. What does it look like for you when you are fulfilling that? When you're out here making your content and you're fulfilling what the plans and purposes are on your life, and you see that you and your family are reaping the fruits of your labor. What does that do for you? What does that look like for you?
Oh my god, that's like the best feeling. Like I'd say, I think there's like so many pieces of, say for example, me or you. Like I'm a man,
Right.
I'm a husband, I'm a
Yep.
father.
Yep.
Each of those things overlap, but they're also kind of different in a way.
Yep.
So like the man, the competitive, like I want to win, I want to go hunt, I want to go like bring the dough home.
Yeah.
Like for me, it's like in a week's time frame, if I am able to like kind of carve out the time and really give the time and the thought to making like good telling good stories and making some good videos. I think about it, I'm like, wait, this is what I'm gonna create and I love this. And then when I create it, I'm like taking my time and like doing this. And then I edit it and I look at that final product and I'm like, damn, like I did a good job. And the
Mm.
man in me, because in my world, that's the main part I control. It's just like the content that I make. So when I do that and I see the video, I'm like, that's a good video. And then I post it and it does well. And I'm just like, I feel so accomplished. And then when you do that, and then you get an email from your manager about an offer, and it's like X amount of money, you got this brand deal coming through, and you're just like, oh my God. And then over a couple months' time, you're like, or say this year, like for me, thank God this year was a great year and a big breakout year for me. And to look back, it's like, wow, like I delivered that. And because of that, it allows my wife to kind of chill. And
Mm.
all of a sudden, we're talking about certain life plans and decisions that were out of scope because we needed X amount of money and space to do that kind of thing.
Wow.
As a man, it's like that is like the best feeling to achieve
Yeah.
it and to know that like based on like what you do, you can totally change the whole trajectory of your whole family's life. And like
Oof.
for example, if all of a sudden flip that switch just goes up and you become like top 10 podcasts in the nation, which you
Yeah.
will be, God willing. Like all of
Amen.
a sudden the game has changed and it's all
Yeah.
on your own accord. So like for me, when I do that, that feels amazing. And then when I'm spending time with my kids and kind of being that super present, really playful kind of dad who's getting down and dirty, being crazy, who like I never saw or got as much of as a kid, just based on like my parents were so busy and stuff. So to be able to do that as the dad, amazing. And then to like have like to enrich that relationship with my wife and to be doing all those different things, like bro, pinnacle. Like nothing else matters. Like honestly, I was telling Pooja, my wife, I was like, bro, all I really need in this world, like all I really want to do is I want to do good work in whatever I do. In this case, it's videos because for me, it kind of just makes me feel good when I'm like performing good at what I'm supposed to be doing, work, whatever. It means I'm like fulfilling that duty. When I just want to do good work, I want to spend time with my family, I want to go to nice dinner dates with you, and I want to go hang out and play sports with my friends. That's it, bro. Like
That's it.
I'm good. Like I don't even
Yeah.
need to go. I don't need to go travel, to be honest. Like I can just be wherever I am, as long as I got my friends, my family, and then
Yeah.
I'm doing good work and just elevating us, and we're doing cool things. Like I'm so Gucci. That's all.
Yeah.
I don't care about no like expensive clothes, car, whatever it is. Like I just want to like do that. Watch some good wrestling. I want to go to the live wrestling events,
Yeah.
but that's it. Like
That's
I'm
it.
good. Just do good work and spend my time with my people, and
I
that's it.
love it. I
Yeah,
love it. That's hey,
I'm
that
sure you
look.
resonate.
Oh, dude, that's that. I'm the same way, man. I look at it as what's fulfilling for me is I look up and we can pay our mortgage every month, or we can
Yeah,
pay our credit card bill. Or I can we can go shop for our daughter. Those things are what gives me fulfillment. Debt being down, credit
yeah.
being where it needs to be. You know,
That is epic. Honestly, those are things that like families like are either being shackled with or like they're
yeah,
just dreaming of. So to be in the green,
yeah,
such a good
yeah.
feeling.
Because I've been on the other side. I've been where my credit was trash. I've been where I tried to get something and they looked back 5 years or on a debt that I let get into collections from 5 years ago, and they're like, "Oh, but by the way, you got to pay this." And
Yeah,
so for me, it's like I'm not fearful of my credit being ran anymore.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know, I look back in the gap. I knew I was like, oh man, I already know this is going to be a denial. I've
yeah.
actually been denied jobs because they did a credit check
Damn.
back then. So now to be able to confidently give someone my information so they can run my credit, not that we get our credit ran a lot, but even just for this
Oh
house
yeah,
that we're building, you know what I mean? Just the fact that we got approved for that, that
right.
right there is the fulfillment to me because it's like, bro, we are elevating and evolving in life, you know, and to just see the look on my daughter's face, to know that she's happy, to know that my wife is happy, the look on her face, just to know that we built this thing from the ground up and now look at us today. Those are the things that allow me to really just thank God and just be humble and grateful just because I don't know, like you, I don't need the fancy cars or the fancy this and that. I just want to be comfortable and I just want to travel and have fun with my family.
Yeah, that's those little micro moments of like, you know what? I can get my credit card, my credit report checked, and I'll be like chilling because I'm like, let's
Yeah,
go.
because I
That's
no
such a
for
small but a big feeling that is so amazing to feel when you used to feel the other way.
yeah,
No, that is so real. I feel like I feel some of those moments when I am able to bring my parents or my in-laws to like cool influencer events. So I brought like all of our parents to like Royal Caribbean cruises, which is like such a cool thing. I'm like, listen, you don't got to pay for a single thing from the time you leave your. All you got to do is pay for the Uber to get to the airport. Maybe that's it. But
right.
and then it's like, so that is such a good feeling. Or like, we've had two birthdays for my son here in LA, and everybody's in Chicago. But to like bring everybody here and like be like, don't worry about anything. Like dinners, everything. I'm buying everything. You just guys relax, enjoy. You guys came. So to now also like kind of like give back to my parents, that is an epic feeling that is just like because they lived a life, especially those immigrant lives, where like they were just like scraping by, like living a hard life. And then
Yeah,
they kind of they honestly they achieved their own American dream and were able to get like a nice good house in the suburbs. They built themselves up, had the kids, but to be able to show them things they've never seen before, that we're fortunate as influencers to be able to go ahead and experience and be like, come here, let me show you this cool little thing. And then they're experiencing stuff. That is like such a fulfilling feeling.
no, for sure.
And I think obviously like I can tell from your stories and like from meeting you, like it's always really nice when these epic things like that we get as influencers happen to good people
Yeah,
because then you can receive it properly and you can give it out properly. And yeah, it's the best feeling.
no, it is. It's great, man. Well, I'm gonna get you out of here on this last question. It's a question that I like to ask all my guests to conclude the episode. So, let's say you're talking to 20-year-old Reza, you're across the table, sitting across from him, and he comes to you. He's like, "Hey, look, I need advice. Trying to really get into this content space, but I just don't know where to start. I just don't know where to begin. I'm fearful that it's just not going to be what I thought it could be or should be." And, he's just kind of, or he or she is just, they're just kind of fearful of it. But they come to you with advice, or ask you, what do you think they should do? What type of advice would you give them?
Um, I would go. I'm gonna go like general life advice.
Actually, before you do that, I want you to come from a different angle, a different perspective. Most Because I already know what most people would say. Obviously, like they'd be like, "Oh, just you got to do it. You got to take a leap of faith." But I want you to come from a different perspective on why you think it's beneficial for them to go on ahead and do what they got to do.
Mm.
Because I know you. Just talking to you, I know you have a different perspective.
I think so. Once again, I'm gonna give like a general life advice that's
Okay.
like pretty specific
Okay.
that I feel like is the thing that really opens the doors.
Okay.
I think I think one of the best skills that you can learn is to really be in tune with what your gut is telling you.
Mm,
So I think a lot of times when you're deciding if you want to go take this opportunity or if you want to go try something new or you're deciding if this person's good that you're hanging out with versus this person, I would say a lot of times like your gut tells you, you already kind of feel it pulling you towards it or away from it. But it takes a long time for you to really be in tune with your gut. A lot of times like your gut might be telling you this, but you're like, oh, I'm gonna do it anyway. So I think
yeah.
one to this 20-year-old version of myself is like listen to your gut because that's going to help you move away from the people that are just pulling you down and that are
Mm,
not fueling you in the right way. And it's going to move you more towards people that are making you feel great about yourself. And that is going to build your confidence. When you're around the right people, that energy, you'll be in a different flow where when you're going to go work, when you're going to go be with friends, if you're around the right people that activate the best parts of you,
mm,
oh my God, you end up showing up 10 times better than another version of yourself that's wrong around the wrong people. You know those feelings when like you're around somebody, there's probably one person in your life where like they come in the room and you're just all of a sudden laughing and you're funnier all of a sudden, you're smooth all of a sudden.
yeah.
There are people that do that. And I think for my 20-year-old self, I was around some people that were like just like, okay, this is this. And then there were some people that were really great, but I was kind of just all over the place, just not really thinking about like who is good for me, what's good for me. So one is like listen to your gut and try and find where you're getting your energy from.
Mm,
That's a big piece. And this is like then this one's a little bit more cliche, but I'm gonna elaborate more. Obviously, be yourself. Um, but more specifically, it's like take the risks of like talking about the specifics. Like be specifically yourself, not just like people just say it, but they don't really understand what that means. But like, say for example, like when you walked in that panel and you said, I love WWE. Like for some people, they're kind of just like, the
okay.
what?
Yeah.
Like WWE, like bro, that's just born. That's like fake. Like who let
Yeah.
it when you kid?
Yeah.
It's like no, like, I love it. And honestly, like most people in this world are so shy to be themselves. They like to stay in that general. Where like you ask them, "What's your hobbies?" They're like, I like to travel, I like to watch movies and shows. And it's like, bro, everybody likes that. Like nobody doesn't like that. So it's
Right.
like, what's the specific? Like tell me
Yeah.
the specifics. So it's like, bro, honestly, like a 20-year-old me, especially, like, bro, I just like to go to like restaurants and I like to binge. Like I like to order copious amounts of food and just binge. Like give me some specifics. And if that version of myself brought his whole self to everywhere he went, specifics, like what ends up happening is in this world, people are looking for how to identify you, especially in the social media game. They want to identify you. They want to be able to see, like, if I'm looking at young Reza or if I'm looking at Brandon, how do I describe him to somebody else? They want you to make the job easy for them. So if you kind of stay in the general, it's like, oh, Brandon, yeah, he's a chill dude, he's a cool guy, whatever it is. But it's like, oh, Brandon, like, bro, this guy is like, talk to this guy about wrestling, talk to this guy about like traveling in this kind of place, like whatever it is, like specifics, like it just makes you more attractive in your workplace, social media, with your family, friends. So it's like, I think like that's just two aspects of being able to reach the right energy flow
I
by
love it.
being around the right people that activate you the right way. And
Yeah.
then also like you just set yourself apart. It's not about being the funniest guy. This is it's just about being original. And like when you're just if you have a thought that feels like I feel like nobody probably that's probably so weird. That's the thing you should be saying, bro. Because
Right.
you're not
Right.
crazy. Like so if you're
Yeah.
like, bro, honestly, can I be honest, like I don't know, like something goofy. Like, I go on my phone. Like, for example, this was actually me in college where I was like, this is so weird. I was telling my friends, I was like, honestly, I have this like enjoyment where I go on my phone and I watch videos of chiropractors cracking backs. And this was back in like 2016. And
Yeah.
my friend, one of my good friends, he's like, no way. He's like, bro, I watched that too. I'm like, no. He's like, yeah. And it
Yeah.
was like, it makes me seem so much more unique. You also find people that connect with you versus me being like, oh, what do you watch? Like, oh yeah, yeah, I watch like I watch like basketball. And so I was like, shut up, bro. Give me the specifics. So
Right.
I think that is what I would tell him. It's pretty much to be more courageous and listen to your gut and be so original, even if it feels weird, because that is just like the unlock. Because
Oof.
everybody's the same, bro.
Yeah, everybody's the same, and being different is gonna open you up to opportunities. Like you said, there are people who are looking to talk to you when they're pitching you to people, or when
Yeah,
there's opportunities involved. They want the specifics. They don't want to say, "Oh, this guy's great, book him."
yeah,
No, why? Like,
yeah.
why is this
Especially,
guy great?
especially right now, I'm like, okay, I make dad content. Okay, lot of dads that make dad content.
Right?
Am I different? I like to think I'm pretty different, but
Yeah,
can I be more different? Can I be something where it's like, oh, bro, there's this one dad and he does X, Y, Z, and it's just
yeah,
like it's so fun to watch. Like so specific. Like you got to see where the whole pack is going, and they're going this way, and you're like, I'm going this way,
yep,
and then just so people can see like you're one of one, not one of many. I'm not just another dad doing like lifestyle content. No, no, no. I am like I'm Brandon.
yeah.
Sorry, I scared you. My baby's here.
No,
He's- but yeah, that's like the key. That's the key.
man, this was good, man. This was good. I appreciate you stopping by to give your journey and give your perspective on things. This was really, really good. Definitely enjoyed it. Just talking with you, man.
Same, brother. It was awesome. I felt comfortable. Your calm presence allowed me to just share freely. I really enjoyed it. It was a great hour conversation.
No, for sure, for sure. All right, well, make sure you're following us on IG where we post reels from the episodes. And if you can't watch us, you can listen to us wherever you get your podcasts at Flip That Switch. So, one way or the other, make sure you're tapping in. Also, if you want to be a guest on the Flip That Switch podcast, we'd love to have you on the show. If you think your story can get out there and resonate with a lot of people, then hit me in the comments and we'd love to sit down and interview you. But Reza, man, bro, appreciate you stopping on by. We got to link up soon, man. We gotta we
Sure.
gotta we gotta we gotta link up soon and talk wrestling, man. It's a lot that's
Yes, I
gone on
know.
and changed.
Yes, sir. Honestly, the next there's ever any a reason where you come into California for some wrestling thing, or you find yourself in LA for sure, hit me
Yeah,
up. We gotta link up and we'll
and
watch
it's
some
crazy
wrestling.
because we are going to Survivor
San Diego,
Series
right?
in San Diego at the end of November. So um, I want to say it's November 29th. It's basically the Saturday after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, we were gonna come back on the Friday of after Thanksgiving
Oh, okay.
from Chicago, and then we extended our trip to Sunday. So I'm gonna be in Chicago. But man, I was like, for the longest time, I kept saying, I'm like, I'm either driving to San Diego and going, or I'm gonna get one of these like nice venues and watch it there.
Yeah,
I guess I'll be watching in Chicago.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I'll probably
yeah.
see you on the front row or something.
No, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Because hey, look, I got to collect my last chair. I got SummerSlam. I got Royal Rumble. I got WrestleMania, and Survivor Series is the fourth big event.
That's
So once
that's
I get that chair, I'm good after that. I'm
that's sick.
healed.
Is that a collab?
Is that a what?
Is that a brand deal?
No,
Oh, I was about to
no,
say, I'm like, I got to get that content.
no, no. I look. If I don't ever get another Royal Rumble was just that was amazing,
Pinnacle.
man. It was cool. So yeah,
That's
but
dope.
no,
But yeah, for sure.
we'll catch up soon, man. We'll
For
catch
sure.
up soon.
For sure. Thank you so much for having me, brother. I wish
Yeah,
you all the best with your own stuff, with the podcast, the family, with the new house. So many blessings. God bless. Sending so much love, peace your way, brother.
same to you, man. And tell the family I say hi.
I will.
And we're gonna see y'all for the next episode. And we out. Peace.